And I took the clip from that live and I shared it on other social media platforms and it went viral all over the place, right? And I gave like practical advice for anxious attachment, but I framed it as like the best advice for people who are anxiously attached. This woman gonna comment on my post and says the best advice actually is to heal, is to love your inner child, your inner daughter, your inner little girl, and regulate your nervous system. And in doing that, you'll effectively heal. And I'm like, how does one apply what you just said? And then I went on her page and it's just her in thong bikinis. Like every picture is her showing ass. And then her bio was like body positivity. I hate that shit. I can't stand that shit. It's like you're clearly showing ass for validation and you're trying to do it under the guise of body positivity. You want people to see that ass. This ain't got nothing to do with body positivity. Got a fat old juicy ass too. I'll take it through there. She was bad as a motherfucker. But that aside, that aside, thick as a motherfucker. A lot of ass to show. She had to do one of those like carousel posts. She had a carousel ass. So you had to go, you had to swipe through the carousel to see all of that ass. Such a shame. Such a shame. That you're so fucking annoying, man. My God. People with this mental health shit is annoying as fuck, bro. I met some really dope therapists who really know what they're talking about. But those are few and far between. A lot of them motherfuckers, man. Ugh. It's the blind leading the blind. Alright. I'm off my soapbox. Off my soapbox. We have any callers? Let me see. Hello. Love bug, you there?
No, that was an accident.
What you eating? What you eating right now? You gonna share? What we got going on?
Nothing.
Nothing. All right, I'll let you go,
No.
love. I'll let you go.
Okay.
Enjoy the show.
Okay.
She has some. She has some. Those are hot fries. Those was hot fries, the old school bag. You went to the corner store to get them. I know exactly what's going on over there, little bug. You didn't want to share. That's crazy. Danny, chill out. Danny a bit unhinged in the chat right now. Clients are always surprised when I'm just chilling, talking plainly in session. It's simple. Right. Exactly. There's some, I always tell people, bro, there's some therapists out there that will change your life. Change your life. But man, there's so many of them who avoid doing the exact work they're trying to convince you to do. And that is just asinine to me. Speaking of asinine, that therapist's ass was very fat. It was. It was. I had to block her. So I'm feeling weird emotions. I hate you but love you simultaneously. I don't know. I feel very conflicted. Pleasant good night, sir. Interesting phrasing. I spoke to my therapist once and she says she needs a drink. It's tough. Whoa. It's the hot sausage from 7-Eleven. Let me see. We got any more callers? Yeah. Yeah. I see a lot of y'all are accidentally hitting the request button. I need y'all to watch them thumbs, baby. Watch them thumbs. Why do guys love texting the girl they claim they love but will never call? I'm done and tired of it. Have you requested a call? Have you had a conversation about that? It'd be like that. Sometimes blocking is best. Right. Exactly. No, I'm asking you that. What? I'm confused with your response, love. My question to you is, have you had a conversation with him about your desire to speak on the phone? Okay. And what was his response given that conversation? All right. Hopefully this caller connects. I told y'all, don't try to call in if you got Boost Mobile. Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
So, I'm not going to sit here and say that I got kinds of money because I don't. And I can understand it from a point of, it's just me just, explaining myself before I go and ask you the question I'm going to ask.
Okay.
I can understand the point of a broke man shouldn't date nobody. But at the same time, there's a difference between spending money on somebody and actually loving somebody.
Right.
But see, it's me personally, I feel that deeply because I love older women. I'm only 21 and I just like the personality and I just feel greater connections with the maturity of the older woman,
Okay, brother,
At the same time, it's hard for me to deal with that.
What's your question here, Chief? What question do you have here, bro?
What advice would you have on like loving older women? Because I just do. And it's hard for me to get with older women, because most of them got kids and they got husbands and stuff.
Okay.
But I'm not trying to steal them.
All right. Don't request anymore. Okay. Don't request up anymore. What are we talking about? I hope that was a troll. If you weren't trolling, you're incredibly stupid. Incredibly stupid. Your poverty is connected to your inherent stupidity. So blame your bloodline for that. I don't know what to tell you. Pray that reincarnation exists so you can have another shot, another go. Another set of parents, different genes, because you're cooked beyond belief. My God, I pity you. I weep for your future. That's not looking bright. That's looking terrible. The profile pic was already rough enough, and then you spoke, and then the words was worse than the profile pic, and I didn't think it'd get worse than that. So you are really cooked, my brother in Christ. So blessings. All right. What else do we got? Who else do we have? No, I don't like the queue. Again, people, if you have a question pertaining to dating and relationships, you can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person, request up, and I will solve your issue guaranteed. If you are on another platform and you're watching, you can drop your question in the chat. If I do not have an active caller, I will address it. I can see it from where I am sitting. Okay? What's up, YouTube? What's up, Facebook? Let me see. Fingers crossed. Yo.
Yo, what up?
What's going on, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good. What can I do for you?
Yeah, man, I just saw this live, right? And I saw the dating and relationship Q&A. I thought, yeah, man, that's interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna give you a little bit of context to end this.
Okay. All right. So they took you down, brother, because you were rambling. You got to kind of be sharp and just get to the point. All right. We can do the pleasantries, but after the pleasantries, there's no need to read out loud what is on the header or what your inner monologue was as you entered the room. Right? We don't need to hear, oh, I thought that was interesting. Let's get to the point. You know what I mean? Let's just get to the point. You went to a restaurant, was like, yeah, I came in here and I was like, boy, I could eat. I have quite the appetite. My stomach was rumbling. I said, you know what, I should eat. So then I opened the menu and I was looking. I was like, I want some chicken. And I see that y'all have chicken here, so I will have the chicken. You see how that would, like, if I was a server, I'd be like, oh my God, I hate this table. You know what I mean? Oh my God, I hate this table. This table's the worst. You know? So you just gotta, like, seeing this girl, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, like, that's kind of how you want to do it. That's kind of how you want to do it. What's up, Mr. Lemon? Yo,
Hey, how's it going, man?
great, bro.
I had a quick question for you.
Yeah.
So previously in my relationships, I never had like trouble like attracting women, right? But I guess it was like keeping them that was the hardest part for me. And recently I've been, working on myself, going to the gym, and now I find that since I've improved myself, now I have a lot of more options. I'm still a young person, and I guess I'm trying to figure out how to go about like with these women, but while protecting myself in a sense of like disappointment. And I just wanted to ask, your advice for like a young dude who is improving, who has had previous experience with, disappointment, even though I did get them before, but now, I'm trying to avoid that. Oh, shit. So, apologies for that fireworks.
You're good, bro. You're good. And the same thing going on in my background. So what's the actual problem that you're running into? You said that you worked on yourself. Kudos on that.
Yeah, like I'm stronger. It's that I think that now that I'm talking to these women, right? I guess I'm just kind of concerned, like whether they might get bored of it, or if like I might get too attached to them, and it might replicate the same results that I had in the past.
Okay. And what occurred in the past? You got too attached?
I wouldn't say. I'd say yeah, maybe in a sense, not overly attached, just a normal amount, if that makes sense. And I understand that people drift. People have their differences, and I am getting older. I have been working on myself, and I'm back out in the field. I'm attracting a lot more women, and I guess I'm just kind of scared, just like when I do meet with someone that I do vibe with, that I might catch feelings and end up, attracting the wrong type of women.
What is the wrong type of woman?
I'd say someone that's just like if I want to word this correctly, someone that's kind of about the exterior, that likes you for the idea of you, but not you.
Okay. So you're essentially trying to avoid being hurt.
I guess, yeah.
Right. Now what I would tell you is it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
It's just life, man. It's like if you go to the gym long enough, you will get an injury of some sort. Like it's almost a guarantee. Now you want to mitigate that. You want to do everything that you can do in the gym in order to not hurt yourself. So you want to warm up, you want to stretch, right? You want to have a good diet, make sure you get your micronutrients, right? To kind of prevent that. But it's still going to happen. Okay?
Yeah.
So what you want to focus on is increasing your level of discernment. Discernment in a romantic context is the equivalent to stretching and warming up in the gym.
Yeah.
So that you can decrease. That's a good analogy, isn't it? So you can decrease any kind of pain that you may feel. You don't have to feel unnecessary pain. But pain is still going to come. Okay? So you want to increase your discernment, but then also increase your capacity. Meaning like capacity meaning like what you're able to handle in this context. Like you've been hurt in the past, right? You said you had some negative experiences in the past.
Yeah.
Okay. And do those experiences still hurt you right now?
Traumatized,
Okay.
I'd say.
Traumatized.
Well, not traumatized, but like made me put a harder exterior.
Okay.
And I've hurt people in the same way, because hurt people hurt other people.
Sure.
So I don't want to go around having all these women in my life and
Right.
play them or myself get played, especially in today's game.
How long ago was like the most recent experience that you had that was negative?
I'd say a year
Okay.
ago.
How long ago was the first one?
Oh, first one, I'd say about 4.
Does
4
that
years ago.
does that first one still hurt?
Nah, I got over it.
Right. You got over it.
Yeah,
You see the point that I'm about to get to?
yeah, I see.
If you get hurt now, you will get over it. Time heals all. Now, what you want to avoid is hardening yourself and closing yourself off when you experience that pain, because it's not necessary.
Yeah.
All that happens is when you put those walls up, it's effective at keeping the bad people out, but it also keeps out the good people.
I like the word that you said, discernment. Like, how would you, like, tell a younger dude to kind of? I think that's what I kind of struggle with, like reading it, you know, like, because you get so, like, when you're young, you just kind of get so overwhelmed that you're not really reading up, like, the offense or
Right.
the defense.
Right.
You just play.
Right. How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 23.
23. Okay. So a lot of it is going to be pattern recognition, but essentially what you want to engage in is vetting. So vetting is essentially, to define it in the way that I would define it, is assessing people's behavior over time to ensure that they match your standards. So there's a certain way that you want to be treated.
Yeah.
And you assess a person over time and observe whether or not they are behaving in a way that meets your standards. Because people will pretend at the beginning. They'll put their best foot forward. We all do it. Some do it more than others, where they wear a mask, and other people are just like putting their best foot forward, right? Some people lie on their resumes, and other people like tweak wording to make themselves sound better. Two different things. Same mechanism at play, though. They're both trying to get the job. So you want to observe somebody's behavior over time to ensure that they are behaving in a way that matches your standards. And if they are not, and you have clearly communicated that they're not, and they do not,
My bad.
and they do not make an effort to change, then you simply leave that connection. Okay. You're looking for two things ultimately, and that is, can you trust the person? And also, do they have a willingness to repair? Meaning that when there's some sort of conflict or disagreement, do they lean into the connection and try to actually fix things, or do they lean out of it?
Thank you.
No problem, brother. No problem.
I
There's
really
more.
appreciate it, man.
There's
I
more.
I like what you're doing here.
I appreciate you,
I
man.
really appreciate it, especially for the young guys, man. Speaking for the young guys, I appreciate it.
Absolutely, bro. Come back anytime, man. We can talk more about it, all right?
All right, man. Have a blessed one.
You do the same, Chief. Take care. All right. Let us see my young guys elevating. Elevating. Love to see that. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, how are you? Okay. Come back, love, if you didn't mean to drop. Yo,
Hey,
what's going on,
hello,
yo?
can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Hey, I just wanted to call you a fucking nigger, report the live,
Report the live. Person's family didn't love him. That's a shame. Quite the shame. You said, what's the point of? It's people want attention, bro. They didn't get it when they were little, so they need it now. Who's this? This person might be matchmaking. If you're trying to request up, just understand that we don't do matchmaking here, okay? We do not do any kind of matchmaking. I'm gonna say that again. We do not do any kind of matchmaking. I know you're still coming, but we don't do that. Hello? Hello? Okay. She didn't mean to come up. Hello.
Hi,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine.
Good, good. What can I do for you?
Keep up the good
inspirations and advice.
Okay, what's going on?
And what happened is I've gotten divorced after being married for 23 years.
Okay.
And I think dating is almost impossible now because I am so stable in my life that out here men are on games.
Okay.
So it's been 3 years and I just don't feel it have any hope.
Okay. Why do you feel like you have no hope?
No, because I mean, men are so complicated. And then when you have something like to compare it to, especially the good standards that you're accustomed to, it's very difficult. And it's almost like if you had have to parent these men and train them.
Okay. So you said you're not having people meet the standard that you're accustomed to. What is your standard?
Well, not. I wouldn't say exactly what I'm accustomed to,
Okay.
but I am a traditional person. I'm not really a modern day person, whereas I have a lot of traditional morals,
Okay.
and people don't really respect that.
Okay. Give me some examples of the traditional morals that you have.
Well, right. So, you know, some people think if I'm just gonna be plain, right? I'm gonna be outspoken. So some people think if you go out with them once, twice, the third time they're trying to kiss you, then they're trying to have sex with you, and if you say no, they're telling you that you're confused, you don't know what you want.
Right. Okay.
By the way, I'm in Trinidad right now.
Okay. All right.
And
How old are you?
51.
Okay. And how are you meeting men currently?
Probably if I go out or maybe from work or whatever, I don't trust online
Good.
dating. I never did it, and I won't meet anybody like that.
Good.
Or just friends I had from long ago who I know was interested, and they live their separate lives, and now you know maybe they might be divorced or single, or it just I don't think it really worth my time, and I don't want to be a lost cause.
Okay. I got you. So how you said that you were married before?
Yes, I was married for 23 years.
Okay. How long have you been divorced?
3 years.
3 years. How many men roughly have you dated in these 3 years?
None.
You've dated no men since you've been single?
No. No.
So you haven't gone on any dates?
No. Actually, I've never been on a date. Actually, I've been married since I was young.
So where is your you spoke to experience at the beginning of this call, so
Right. So just like I don't reach the date. Like maybe if I go out and we hang out and then after they would say you want to meet somewhere else, but it's not a date. It's not actually officially a date.
okay.
You know,
Okay.
they would never ask if you want to go for dinner or you want to go and catch a movie. It's not like that.
Okay. So they just ask you to hang out?
Yeah, like if you wanna go, like maybe you wanna take a drink, you wanna meet by the bar, but it's not a date. If I may go with my friend or my cousin, and they might come with somebody else, you know. And it's not like a double date. It's never a date.
Why are you going with like your friend or your cousin?
Well, because they suggest it.
The man suggested it, or your friend and cousin?
Yeah. No, the men. So well, you're meeting me there. It's not like they're coming home to my house to pick me up, or they just say, well, meet me there or whatever.
Okay.
So I've never actually been on a date.
So how many times has this happened since you've been single?
To be honest, I have never met anybody new.
What do you mean?
These are people that I knew from before. That's like maybe I knew they were interested, and I was just stringing them along as friends. So
Okay, well,
Actually,
you can't, you
they
can't,
know
hold on, hold
the
on,
friend zones.
hold on. You can't be mad at them now because you were stringing them along, right?
All right.
Right.
But because
So
I was married.
I get that. I get that. But still, that's a one-sided connection that you were aware of, right? You used the phrase stringing them along intentionally because you knew what you
Yeah,
were
keeping
doing.
them as friends. Yeah.
Right. So that's an intentional thing. That's acting in bad faith, not acting in good faith. Acting in bad faith effectively makes you a bad partner. I'm going to be blunt
Right.
with you. So you got to change that. You got to change your character. Now, moving
Right.
on. So, how many of these friends did you have
Right.
this experience with?
Have
Yeah, how many men are we talking?
maybe 2 or 3.
Okay, that's not enough. So one, you are dealing with people from your past and not people who are new, so they don't count for real. And then
Right.
two, it hasn't been that many for you to come to any
Right.
conclusion that
Right.
this is a hopeless situation.
Right.
You've essentially not met anyone in a romantic context.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
All right. So you effectively have no dating experience and you feel
No.
hopeless dating. That's the problem. You got to go meet new people.
Yes. But I don't know where.
What does your lifestyle look like? What do you do? How do you fill your time?
Work. Go to the gym. That's it. Come
Okay.
home.
Gotcha.
Basically, that's it.
Gotcha. You got to find some hobbies, love. You got to find ways to get out of the house. There's something I define as static environments, which are environments where every time you go, you see the same people over and over again. So
Right.
find some sort of activities, hobbies, right? Like examples of those could be, run club. The gym technically counts if you go at the same time every day. Salsa dancing classes. All of those are examples of static environments. Start putting yourself in those type of environments and showing yourself as friendly, and you'll start getting a bit of momentum because dating problems are typically downstream from social problems. Meaning, when your social life isn't active and vibrant, it manifests as a dating issue.
Yes.
People
I
who
agree.
people who are more socially active tend to not have these type of problems. They have different problems,
Right.
but they don't
I
have
understand.
your specific problem, right? So like that's kind of how you want to position yourself. You have a people problem, and the only solution to solving the people problem is to get amongst people,
Yeah, to get to socialize.
right?
I just don't know where to actually go.
Well, you got to think about it. You got to think about what you're into. What values do you have? What kind of activities or experiences that take place in a static environment align with those values or interests? And then do that.
I mean, I love fishing. I would go fishing. You can't meet anybody fishing. So I
necessarily.
guess I have to get myself, as I said, in a dance group or.
Yeah, there's tons of options. There's hundreds of things you could do. I'm sure there's probably like a fish group that gets together
Fishing
and
talk,
goes
yeah,
fishing.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can meet people that way too if that's something you're actually interested in. So, a good way to do this is to hop on like a Facebook group and go to your area and see what kind of groups exist in your area. Because a lot of times the Facebook group has an in-person extension.
Right.
So, like for example, this live right here. I know you're probably new here, but this is technically a static environment. There's a lot of new people who come in, sure, but so it's like a mixture of both. But there's like a
Right.
core like 100 to 150 people who come here like every single time I go live. And actually, we're getting together in Dallas. It's one of your friends calling. One of her friends are hitting her up. Friends. Guys, avoid that friend zone. For the love of God, avoid that friend zone. All right. Appreciate you, Danny. I was about to end it myself. I know that facial expression. How you know my facial expression? What did my facial expression communicate? What did it communicate? Is he trying to come back? Yo,
Sorry about that. I just got disconnected.
you're good. What's going on?
Yeah, I just came on here because I have a few questions and just kind of wanted to see your advice on it. I'm 23 years old and I really had a very hard time when it comes to relationships. So I just been trying to understand, like, what am I doing wrong?
Okay. What's your experience been?
Well, I've only kind of been in one serious relationship, and that one, it was a huge age difference for sure. And he just wasn't giving me enough, and it just felt like I was giving wife material where I wasn't getting anything else in return. And I think maybe me and him, our age difference was a huge thing at the same time. But I just feel like I'm just trying to understand as a person what I want in a relationship. I feel like when I talk to certain men, it's like it's such a huge or a difficult thing. I don't know if I'm looking in the wrong direction.
Okay. How big was the age gap?
He was 30 and I was 22
Okay. How did you meet him?
at work.
Okay. All right. And how did that connection end?
It ended really badly because we were like back and forth together for a whole year. So we dated maybe like 2 months and then we'd break up and then get back together every like 2 months or so.
Okay.
And it was more of like he didn't understand me because all I asked for was emotional maturity, really. And it's like, you're way older than me. I don't understand why that's so difficult, because he didn't understand my feelings, that I'm a very emotional person and I like somebody that cares about my feelings and wants to take that into consideration. And it was more of him like, oh, I don't understand why that's such a huge thing for you, where for me it's like, I want to know your life, I want to know how you're feeling, so I want the same from you, want to know about my life and my feelings.
Right. So is that why it kept ending?
Also cultural difference. Yeah, like we had different cultures. He's Black American. I'm also Black, but I'm from Ethiopia, so it's a huge difference in that category, because I think we have such culture divide, and what I see in men in my culture is just so different seeing it here. But I'm American. I was born here and everything. It's just like, it was so different. And I think he brought that up a lot and would say, oh, this is not how, we do it here. And it's like, we're 50-50 and all that. And for me, it's like, no. Also, that was a huge thing where I think he just wasn't a provider, you could say, because I didn't need him to provide because I did make more money than him, but it was more of like the gestures that I liked, wanting to get flowers, wanting him to want to pay for things instead of being like there and not caring to pay for things and thinking like, oh, it's normal, you can pay. And I'm like, no, it's not normal. But I think those are some things that just kind of cracked. And that's why we just couldn't be, because he felt that I was too young and I felt that he was not mature enough. So it was really odd.
Okay. And so is this like, have you had any other romantic experiences, or is your complaints about dating just related to this one-off experience?
I've talked to I've been in like a kind of, I don't know if it's dating. I didn't date him, but we talked for like 8 years straight in like a friend way. Like we liked each other when we were young. Like I met him when I was 15, and then we just never dated because we lived in different states. But it was just terrible. That one was very traumatic because he also couldn't give me what I wanted, which was that emotional maturity part that is very huge for me. I like somebody that cares about my feelings a lot. And a lot of people call me emotional, but I just think that I'm not emotional. I think I'm more of like, I care about your feelings. I care about your life. I want you to kind of do that same for me. So I've been having a hard time getting somebody that really is intrigued in me and in my life.
Okay. But you're basing that off these two experiences, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing is you haven't really reached statistical significance. So you just haven't had enough experiences to really come to any kind of conclusions.
Well, I said I've talked to those two, but I've talked to more men, of course. I've just never dated them because I would just stop it because it would just be more like. Because I've talked to maybe 4 or 5, but
Okay.
never dated them or anything.
Okay, and how did you meet them?
All of them is mostly like work or like someone comes up to me and maybe they're attractive and then because I get a lot of people that come up to me, but usually like sometimes I'll choose wisely, of course, and think like, okay, this person might be okay, and like, and then if I give them my number and just try to see how it goes, and I never seem to feel fulfilled, feel happy with it. And they always, I guess, think that I'm never fulfilled, which I'm not. So that's why I'm just like, I don't know why I never feel so fulfilled. It's like, I understand why, but I don't understand why a lot of men can't understand that.
Okay. So what was lacking in those connections?
Same kind of thing. Like, I just always want more from a relationship. I just want a man that kind of thinks for himself and knows, how to make me happy. And I feel like that's something that I always struggle with is finding a man that takes me into consideration.
Okay, let's ground this specifically from a behavioral perspective. What would that person need to do to make you happy? Specifically, no vague terms.
Okay, better communication, like
We're already vague.
romance.
We're already
Is that
vague.
big?
Better communication and romance doesn't mean anything.
Okay, like I don't know. Well, give me an example so then I can think like, okay,
You have
maybe
to. This is the problem here, right? Because you aren't even clear on it.
yeah.
You want a feeling, but you don't know what produces the feeling. So you're
Yeah,
dealing with
well,
these. You're dealing with these men, and you don't. You're all you know is you're not feeling the way that you want to feel. So then you are putting the onus of the responsibility on them. But if you yourself can't clarify what it is that you're looking for,
Yeah,
then
I
how are
put
they
it on
supposed
them
to?
because I feel like as a man you should know.
That's not how it works.
Because I want simple things, like take me out to eat, to buy me flowers, talk to me in a sweet way, like a sweet tone, those kind of things. I feel like it's not difficult. I'm not asking for something too crazy.
Okay, so why when I asked you specifically what would make you feel that way, you had trouble answering that question?
Because I just feel like I was explaining it, just not saying the words exactly out loud.
Okay. So you're saying that if a person took you out to eat and bought you flowers and called you pet names, you would that would be your dream scenario.
Called me pet names?
Yeah. Speak to you in a sweet way, like you said.
I would say that, like, for me, I want to be in a relationship where me and the other person, when we're talking to each other, I can feel that physical chemistry. I can feel that I feel important to them. That's what I want.
So
Instead,
these other guys that you talked to, how long did you talk to them?
6 months maybe. Like usually I can't do more than 2 months, so that's why I'm like here, because I'm like maybe I need to figure out what I'm doing wrong, because usually I can't do more than 2 months really. Like I talk to them and I'm just like I'm not feeling this, and they never understand, so I'm just like I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
And in those 2 months, like what are y'all doing in those 2 months? What's the experience like?
In those 2 months, I like to watch and see how they communicate with me, and I usually kind of drop people right away if like they're not showing me the interest that I want. Like if they're not texting me back, if they're not saying things that we can do together instead of waiting for me to say something, then I just drop them.
Okay, so these people, so you talked for 2 months and then go on any dates with these people?
It's more of like, what do you want to do? And that's one thing I hate.
Okay, and then how old are these guys?
These ones, since I learned from that 30-year-old, now they're like 25, 26.
Okay.
So,
And you're meeting them at work again?
no, some of them I met when I was at like a gathering, you could say. Like I went out with my friends and we were at a festival or something, and I'm like, okay, this is a place that I like to go to. And I don't just pick any, like I don't just give my number out to any random people. I usually just give it to somebody that I feel like, okay, this person looks like they have like a good head on their shoulder. Like they look like normal, they look like maybe they'll be good people, and then I'll give them my number just to see how it goes. And it's kind of always the same thing, so I'm just like, okay, why do I keep running into these same men every time?
There's a couple of things going on. There's a cultural aspect to it. there is, like, consider this. There is what is dominating the culture now is this messaging that is telling men to like preserve safety with women. We're equals. We she knows what she wants. We're exactly the same. Men shouldn't lead because a woman can lead too, right? I'm not saying I disagree with any of that, but consider what change that creates in young men who are trying to navigate the world. They may say, "What do you want to do?" They may expect for you to pay. So there's the cultural element going on there. There's also the age element as well. And then the third element that is at play is where you're meeting them. So you're meeting them in a festival. The environment that you date in matters. The environment that you date in selects for a particular type of person. Let's say you worked an entry-level job and then you worked with a 30-year-old at that same entry-level job. Let's say you work at a call center, right? Do you think that that 30-year-old who works at the same call center that you work in is an ambitious person who wants to lead and provide for you? Right. So the environment that you date in matters. So you're going to a festival, a very stimulating, novel experience, and it selects for people who probably are oriented towards short-term dynamics. That doesn't mean that everyone you meet there is going to be that way. Obviously, you're there, right? But does mean that there's going to be a higher likelihood that the people that you meet there are probably going to be people who are not really taking things seriously. It's almost the equivalent of meeting someone at a club.
Yeah. No, the thing is, the only reason why when I went to festivals, I gave it a try was because I work in a corporate setting where everybody's very serious. So that's where I met that man. And I realized that I didn't really like people that work in the same company as me or like wanting to meet anybody in a corporate setting. So that's why I went to festival because I'm like, okay, these are people that are kind of in my age range. Everybody that I work with is like, I live in Chicago, but everybody that I work with is like 30 and up. So it's kind of very difficult for me.
Okay.
So that's why
I
for me, when I go to places that maybe people my age or like 25, 26 will be there.
Okay. So the last element that's going on. But you do get what I said about like the environment thing, right? So that's something that you would need to be a bit more intentional about. And then the last variable that is impacting your results is your expectations. You don't have unreasonable expectations. If what you say to me is true, that just getting you flowers, taking you out to eat, right? Holding space for your emotional experience will make you feel like you're in a loving connection. That's not an unreasonable expectation.
That's it.
What's unreasonable is expecting them to read your mind. Now, you sound like a woman who probably is very like feminine, and that's typical with like very feminine women, right? They want men to read their mind. It's a feature, not a bug, essentially. But it will make romance incredibly difficult because there are some guys who probably do want to. There's a quote that it's not even a quote; it's like a mental model, and it's something given to people who kind of take everything personally. And it states, "Don't attribute to malice that which can be explained by ignorance."
Okay.
That's slightly different than what you're experiencing, but it's under the same umbrella. You're attributing the lack of something that hasn't been communicated as evidence of them not being capable of loving you in the way that you want to be loved.
Yeah.
So the better approach would be to communicate your standards, even in a way that has more finesse. It doesn't mean like you have a spreadsheet and like I expect this, I expect this, I expect this. Leave the corporate mentality at work, right?
No, I have done that before. That I wrote out literally everything I want, and I'm just like when they do it for a week or something, and then after that it's just gone. I'm like, okay, I don't want to repeat myself again. And
right.
so
You don't need to, but that way isn't really having any kind of finesse. You can just like state that you like something, right? And then someone paying attention to you may pick up on that, and then like you just say, "Oh, it's my favorite flower. I love flowers," right? And then they may be like, "Okay, well, let me get her some flowers then."
Yeah.
You state it, and then you observe after you state it. That's how this works. You stated it in more like a business like way first, and then you also have experiences where you don't state it at all, and then you think they're just supposed to just come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Like
I
I'll
think
just
I
give you some
just-
perspective from men, right? There's some men who have gotten women flowers, and then after they've done that, it gave them the ick. Like really, like
Really?
try to zoom out of your own experience, and then consider what they possibly have gone through. There are men who've done that. They've gotten flowers, and then shit has ended because they've done that, because the woman who they dealt with did not want that romantic stuff, or like not from him, and then that was like a turnoff. That is a real experience that happens. So what if the man who you dated just went through that, and then now he's like, oh, I'm not getting no flowers, right?
Yeah.
And then you're taking it personally, like, oh, he doesn't care. And it's like, he absolutely would if he thought it was going to land the right way. So that's why I mean, like, communicate this stuff. It doesn't mean that you communicate it and then they don't do it, and then you communicate it again, and they don't do it, and then they communicate it again. No. After one or two times, if they don't pick up the hint, I will say that is an example of them not really being invested. Me personally, in my personal life, when women mention things around me, like things that they're really into, I tend to remember them if I'm very interested in that woman. There's so many favorite colors associated with like faces, and favorite flowers associated with faces in my head. It's ridiculous. I can't forget it. But when I'm interested in the person, those are things that I remember, right? And there are a lot of guys like that. But especially in your age range, they may not have the experience necessary to just intuit what, like, look what Gina just said. She hates flowers, right? So they may not have the experience necessary to intuit what type of experience will light you up. A lot of guys are doing the best they know how to do. There are some guys who don't give a fuck. They don't care at all. They are definitely out there. You probably experienced them. But there are those out there who really do want to, they have anxiety around this shit because they care so much. So just communicate a little bit more, just a little better about what your expectations are, and not in a way that isn't like a turn off, like you do this, and this, right? Just, I like this, and then observe after that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, love. Keep me posting how it goes, all right?
Thank you.
All right, you take care.
Yeah, you too.
All right, my young bulls, we got an Ethiopian baddie in Chicago. Do your thing. Blow up the inbox. I know you can't see your profile pic. Trust me. It's all in the subtext of her story. Do your work. Do your thing. Do your thing, gentlemen. And make sure you leave her a flower emoji. I'm gonna tell you how to cook. That's what I would have did. I would hop in her DMs. I got you these, and then left a flower emoji. Y'all don't have no finesse. We gotta get some game in the chat a little bit. You feel me? That's what we need to do. All right. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm blessed, thank you. Okay, so basically, I am engaged. I just had a son. He is almost 8 months.
Oh, congrats.
My fiance, and I have a lot of issues. He started out really well, but there were some red flags. And I thought they were kind of me, but as things progressed, because the relationship went really, really fast. We met in September. I was pregnant by March. We were engaged in April. I found out this March that he was seeing some girl half his age from his hotel job or something like that. And hold on, the baby just woke up. Okay, thanks. But he's meeting some girl from Utah at this hotel job, and she reached out to me in March about him, and her boyfriend brought this information to me all these months later, because apparently he called her that night or something weird, and they told him, you should tell because you were wrong. She knew that he was in a relationship, like I was pregnant at the time and everything like that, but Yeah, I know, moving too fast. But anyway, I basically kept trying to put the pause on everything because I felt like I was getting a second chance at life. My daughter, my oldest, is 23. So ideally, I wasn't trying to restart a new relationship, and especially like to the point of having a baby. So he already has, my son is his fourth kid. Two of his kids are the same age. I told him, your resume, like you said, is not, you don't look good on paper. There's other things like he has a criminal history. This isn't my type of guy. I usually date guys of substance. I also was dealing with some things at that time and was very honest. Like, I'm not really trying to rush into anything. I want to be abstinent because I was. I'm not trying to, I want to be married at some point because I did things backwards before supposed to be backwards. Having a child young, all that. I wanted to have a brand new experience. And he basically, like I said, the girl was 19, 20. He said he didn't even really know how old she was, which I said, I keep warning you about your behaviors. You're overly friendly. He's in the fitness community. You know how that could be, all of that type of stuff. He says all women want all kinds of stuff. It's too much. Like, basically, my point in contacting you, because this is my first time seeing you and I liked what I was seeing, is what do you feel about this situation ideally? Because I personally am a traditional type of woman. I was born in 84. I just turned 42. My daughter is grown. She'll be 24 in October. Like I said, I've restarted my life. This man has kind of rushed things along. Whenever I set a boundary, he doesn't listen. He violates every boundary. He doesn't know how to take no for an answer. The girl told me that basically she felt like he was an adult male figure giving her advice and stuff, and things went a little far, and it sounded like he kind of took advantage of her the same way he did to me. Why did I keep the child? Because I don't believe in abortion. That's why. But anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much, and I said the same thing about the respect. So at this point, I don't really feel comfortable in this relationship anymore. He kind of shows up. He got mad and took my Ring camera off the back of my door the last time he was here. I keep trying to be nice and not get him arrested because he already has a criminal background, and obviously we have this child together. So I feel like I am in a nightmare, to be completely transparent, that I want desperately to be out of, and I'm trying to find a safe way to get out of it, because there would be, at one point I was scared of him, to be completely honest, and so that's pretty much where I'm at. And I know the relationship moved too fast. I already know that. That's like without saying. It just was stuff that he was doing that was like almost to the point that people in my family used to be into some stuff back in the day, that I felt like it was some like I need to watch myself and be mindful because this could be some stuff coming back. You get what I'm trying to say? So that type of thing. But that's it. I mean, in a nutshell, like, I don't know what else to really say.
And what is your
I
question?
could go on and on. He's just a big red flag, but...
What is your question here?
So my question is, what do you feel would best be the best outcome for my son and myself in this situation with this person? Not to be, obviously, I don't think being together is the best idea. It's more about moving forward in the future when I'm in a relationship to date someone. How do I avoid people like this? Because it seems like these type of people always gravitate towards me, because I'm a lot like the last girl, where I'm very like, I want an emotionally responsible person who can fulfill my emotional needs. And people start out, like you said, wearing a mask or playing their best self, and then they end up becoming like this demon person. So yeah.
Okay. How did you meet this person?
His brother, I knew his brother, and his cousin. Basically, they tagged him on a post of mine on Instagram, like, y'all should collab because we're both into fitness. And so yeah, that's how. Then we worked out together when we first met, and it went okay, but I still felt like there were things that were kind of off about him. But I was like, maybe I'm just reading it wrong. Like, I just did 2 workouts and then worked out with him. Maybe I'm just tired. But I just noticed that, like I said, there's always some sort of boundary issue. Like, it's not that I don't have boundaries. I'll set a boundary and he'll do some like aggressive, weird thing to violate it. Like once I was in the bathroom, and at that time they didn't have a lock installed on my door yet, and he walks in, and I'm like, you can't do that. Like, you need to knock. I said, my daughter lives here, and I don't want you accidentally walking in on her naked. Well, guess what else? He did that. And it's like every time I see what, like, I give him a warning, he does the exact thing that I say you should be mindful of. Like, he doesn't get it or something. Like, no matter how much wisdom I give him or talk to him or try to pour into him, it's like he's a bottomless pit of ungratefulness that, like, no person seems to be able to feel. So anyway, say what you need to say. No shade, just, you know.
Okay. And does he take care of his other 4 children?
He gets the one every other weekend. He's not with her right now. She's with his 92-year-old grandmother. So I don't know, like the other son he has, the mother doesn't want him around, and someone else is basically raising him. And his oldest one is like, she don't really be bothered with him. And he says it's because he's with me that she doesn't want anything to do with him. But I said, if it was any woman that you chose over her mom, he's trying to act like it's because he didn't choose her mom. That I said it would have been anybody, even if it wasn't me. And he's like, well, it's you. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. So when did you find out about like how well he takes care of his other kids?
I didn't find that part out till a little later because I don't like introducing people to my kid or my daughter or my child until later, like a little later on. He just accidentally met her that day, you know how it went. But I didn't know all of these things until like more like months into, you know, the situation.
Months in, meaning what? You say you met in October. When did you find the stuff out?
We met in September, October, November, December, maybe like, I think after I was already pregnant. I mean, his daughter was around just the one, because the other one, like I said, lives in another state, and the oldest one is older, and she's not really around. But I didn't start noticing like
the daughter was
he never
around.
really has his daughter regularly. You know what I mean?
The daughter was around when? When did the daughter start coming around?
Maybe in February or something like that.
Okay. All right. And you said he took advantage of this younger girl, and you said he took advantage of you too. How did he do that?
So when we first, I'm a flight attendant.
Okay.
I decided to embark on that journey like almost 5 years ago. I had come from a long weekend work trip. As we know, flying can be exhausting, especially when you got delays and everything else. And like I said, he worked at the hotel, and basically at this point, he was like, well, you can basically stay here because it was close to the airport. And I had told him, like, before I had got in an accident and totaled my car leaving because I fell asleep driving home from work. And he was like, well, you don't want to get in another accident. Just come and shower. You know, I'll get you a room or whatever. And, you know, you can stay here. And so I ended up going there, and basically, like, we kissed, and that was it. It had never, ever gone any further than that. And while I was in the shower, he jumped in there butt naked while I was in there. And, you know, like, I just honestly felt violated. And I feel like, you know, I didn't want that. That's not what I asked for. He's like, well, we were kissing, and that's usually how things flow. And I'm like, every person doesn't do the same thing. You can't force you jumping in the shower, that's a trauma response. Like, I didn't even know how to do anything at that moment. So
the first problem here, love, is you gotta take some accountability.
Oh yeah, I know it's not all his fault. Like, I should have been stopped talking to him, but I'm just being honest. I thought I was being one of those people that's like, you're just scared to love somebody.
This is all his fault. This is mostly yours.
Okay,
This is who you decided to deal with, and you rushed into the experience. You said the daughter didn't come around. The daughter didn't magically come around after you got pregnant. The daughter came around before that. And normal people would be like, where's the rest of your children? It sounds like this is someone that you were very attracted to, so you didn't care about what the story was. You
No,
just
that's
wanted
not.
to. You
There's
just
more to
wanted
the
to
story,
deal.
but I'm gonna accept what you're saying
Okay.
because I want to be helped.
It
So
sounds like this is someone that that you just wanted to deal with, right? So for whatever reason, this is someone that you wanted to deal with. Things don't move this fast if it's with someone who you don't want. That's not how that works, right? So this is someone you obviously wanted, and when we want things, we tend to ignore anything that will stop us from getting it, right? So that is going to be the main thing here.
okay.
Is you have to change that. I'm telling you that not to be mean or anything
Oh
like
no,
that.
be rude with me because I
It
need
is
to.
it is so you can like change your behavior in the future so you don't ever end up in this type of situation again, and then also don't have any children you have in your household kind of like learning these patterns and then playing it out in their romantic life, right? So you want to effectively like break generational curses. You feel me? So you have to be more discerning with these people. It's true that people wear masks. That is very true, which is why you don't rush. There's something
Okay.
called like the 90-day rule, right? Where it's like you don't really know, you don't really start seeing the real person until 90 days have elapsed. It's not a science or anything. It's just basically saying that people can only pretend for so long. So within
Right.
those first 90 days, trust and believe the person that you're seeing, that's them putting their, at worst, at best, it's them putting their first, best foot forward. At worst, it's them fully manipulating you.
Right.
Fully. So you have to give people time. You got to slow this thing down a little bit so you can actually get
Right.
to know people and then like really look at objective reality. Yes,
Right.
you consider how you feel about the person, but then also just look at who they are. What is their life story? How does things show up? Things need to make sense. I always tell people that things need to make sense. For I'll give you an example of what I mean by things need to make sense. So I had a client who was dealing with a woman who came out of a 10-year long relationship with a man who was like very abusive to her. And then she left that man for my client. And my client was like a guy who had like good character, right? And so he's very different from the type of man that she previously chose. And I told him,
Okay.
it takes two to tango. People who stay in a bad situation are on some level choosing that bad situation. Because on some level they expect to be treated that way or they think they deserve to be treated that way. So someone who went from a very abusive relationship is not going to be a match for a healthy relationship unless enough time passes and there's some self-work done in that time.
Right.
So for her leaving that relationship and then hopping in this, there's no way she's going to be able to actually hold that connection because she still believes she deserves to be treated poorly.
Okay.
So I said, let's hypothetically, if the situation was different, if let's say there was a 2-3 year gap between her meeting you and leaving that relationship, in the meantime she did things like go to therapy, maybe she gave her life to God or did some type of self-work, now it would make sense for her to be in
Okay.
that situation. So for you, you have to like look at the actual facts of the situation and be like, does this make sense? Does it make sense for you to have 4 children and all of them, there's an issue with all the mothers. There's an
Right.
issue with all the kids. Does
Yeah,
it make
because I said that to him as well. I said you went to prison and left 3 women to raise kids by themselves because you wanted to play drug dealer.
right, right. So it's like it doesn't make sense. So he probably told you a story that made him seem like the victim in that situation, but that doesn't make sense. I'll
Everything
give
with
you
him is everyone dies. I wouldn't have got caught if somebody wouldn't have called my phone, or like he says, I'm not accustomed to telling on myself. So he's very manipulative, and I get everything you're saying about the accountability part. Y'all can't beat me up any more than I already beat myself up and
Okay.
feel like I ruined my life. So,
Okay.
I get what y'all are saying and everything that the people in the comments are saying and what you're getting at. It's a lot bigger of a story, but a lot of it was fear. Like, I thought that he had an issue with my uncle. My uncle used to be in a gang. He is a street dude. Like, you're throwing up Crip Killer signs, making me wonder stuff, playing these mind games, moving things around in my home, acting like you didn't do it. Like, and I was thinking I was tripping until I start noticing stuff on my cameras. Like, well, why are you putting a shirt over here or doing stuff and then telling me you didn't do it? And, like different things like that. And I have been abused before, like sexually violated abandoned and molested as a kid. Like, I've been through a lot. So it's y'all can't beat me up anymore. Not that you're trying to. No one can tell me more than I know. I've taken accountability for things that's not even my fault. My thing was, I had just come out of something, was honest, and my thing was, I think I said too much, because everything I tell him, he uses it as a weapon. Like, oh, well, me too, or I feel this way too, or you said this.
What did you just come out of?
Well, I had a friendship with someone, a friendship with a friend, and I was dating a guy, but he was long distance, and we had fallen out, but we still talked every day. And I was trying to decide on if I wanted to go back to Florida and visit with him. And I was honest, like, look, I have a lot going on. I'm not really trying to be in anything serious or anything, not date. Like, I think you're cool. Like, we could just be cool, work out from time to time, and that be it. And I think he just didn't want that. He told me he had just got out of something where the girl made him feel the worst he's ever felt in his life. And I honestly feel like he takes all of that stuff out on me, because I ended up talking to her before, and she was like, he violated her when they was young. He took her virginity. She was 18 and he was 15. He has a pattern of doing behaviors, it seems like, now that I know these things now. And I wasn't trying to rush. I was trying to take it slow. I didn't feel comfortable, but because I was hurt, because I'm like, okay, well, I made a mistake and slipped up because I don't drink. And I was drinking with a friend of mine, and he basically tried to take advantage of me while I was drunk. And I told the guy that my son's father about it, and I feel like he just was backdooring off of that situation. So, I mean, at the end of the day, he knew I didn't lie. I was like, I want to be back to abstinent, because I was abstinent for years before that. I had made a mistake. It was a one-off. It wasn't like I kept sleeping with that guy. We're not even friends anymore. We don't talk. And the guy in Florida, he's 33, no children. We were planning, if we did be together, to have a new family together, not somebody with 4 kids. I told this guy this because I thought we was just being cool, talking about stuff. And he started to cause a scene on social media as though we were involved. And the guy in Florida got mad and kind of removed himself from the situation, which I don't blame him. He's like, every time
the story. I know there's a lot more going on. The story there normally is, but the thing is that just simplify this, because there's not a lot that you.
I don't know what to say. Just say what you need to say about dude. Move slow. Yes, I know that. I was promised to God. I was really trying my best to do it. He found out where I live, showed up here. It was a lot of fear. Like, one day I literally looked at him and was like, yo, I'm not scared of you no more. And I literally had to tell my uncle what was going on, but I was already pregnant. Yes, I did consider having an abortion. I did. But I did not feel that that was right, because when I was younger, I got pregnant and my grandmother forced me to have an abortion. So people always want to talk about things not knowing anybody's upbringing or what they've been through and how it can impact people into their adult life. And I do go to therapy. They are saying I'm in an emotionally abusive relationship, and I'm trying my best to get out of it without having to deal with this dude acting stupid. I told him, hey, I'm going to end up putting you on child support, or I'm going to quit my job.
Hold on. We're doing too much talking at this point.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's 2 things that you need to change moving forward.
Okay.
The first thing is, as you already stated, you move slower. Okay?
Yes.
And you have to reflect on why you didn't move slower. All right? Because there obviously is some unconscious motivation that caused you to do something that you clearly knew to already do.
Yeah.
So if you did it in this situation where you knew you shouldn't do it, what's going to stop you next time? Right? So we got to unpack that.
Don't do it
The second,
now. Like, I have to
hold
learn,
on. We're back talking again. Hold on. The second thing is, you need to not be, part of moving slow is also moving slow with what you share. You're sharing too much. You're sharing too much about your life. You've done it on this call, right? You are open book, which is a lot of times, sometimes like a trauma response, but it's like you have to start to learn the skill of containment. You share more of your inner world as someone earns access to it. And they earn access by being consistently showing up with good behavior. As they do that, then you share more of yourself. You become more vulnerable, right? You open yourself up a bit more for them to access deeper layers of who you are. You're saying your whole life story to someone that you barely know. And yes, people who are bad actors are going to use that to their advantage. So if your question to me is how do you avoid the situation moving forward, if you make those 2 changes, you will avoid it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
No problem, dear. Best luck to you, all right?
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Whew. All right. We got through it. Best of luck to her, though. That's a tough situation. Hopefully, some of that landed, but time will tell. Hello. I don't think this one meant to come up. Hopefully some of that landed. We just went through 5 seasons of TV on 1,000 net speed. Yeah, it was a lot. But yeah, you can't just tell everything about yourself. I'm not saying be like Machiavellian and like be on some, 48 laws of power type shit. But yeah, you don't, it's just basic game theory. You don't share everything. You got to hold some stuff back, especially the important stuff. Things that can be kind of weaponized against you. You want to kind of reveal that kind of stuff when you can assess their character. I wish I can put my brain, like just give y'all my mind. Shit don't get past me. I'll read you like that. It don't even take me, for the rest of y'all, 3 months, 90 days. Me, 1 date. 1 date. I got it. I got it in 1 date. And I know who you are. Now, shall we proceed? I don't know. All right. Let me see. I don't know about this one. We're going to see. Hello? Hello?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, love. What can I do for you? Okay. That's all right. It's all right. It's okay. It should literally take 1 date to read a person. Here's the thing. Some people have a pronounced ability for pattern recognition. So for those of you in the chat who feel like you can really read people, either you're deluding yourself, which a lot of people do, or you're just really good at pattern recognition. And when people are really good at pattern recognition, they don't understand why people aren't good at pattern recognition. Why can't you see that? Other people do not think that way. My neurodivergent people in the chat know what I'm talking about. You can see things other people can't see. It don't take you long to figure shit out. It did this, it said that. There's an inconsistency there. What displays the inconsistency? Bad character. It's really that simple. But other people's mind, it just literally does not work that way. It just really doesn't. That's all I do in this life, just pattern recognition and then me understanding things from first principles. Sometimes you meet the representative first, right? But then some people don't even really take that in and really understand that. I'm defaulting to the fact that I'm not going to know you for a while, right? If I'm like one of y'all, I'm just going to default to that. Okay, as nice as this person is, as great as this experience is, I don't know them until X amount of time passes. It's really that simple. If I see behavior contradict words, then I believe the behavior. That's simple. I don't care about the words that you use. The behavior tells the truth. The words lie. Words deceive. Do you recommend 9 days before intimacy? Like what problem is that solving? I had a woman like months ago, probably almost a year ago, was like, I have a 90-day rule. And I tell men I have a 90-day rule. It's an older white lady. And I was like, why do you tell them that? Because I just want them to know so they don't try anything. And I said, and after the 90 days, you sleep with them? Yes. I was like, you do know when you tell them you have a 90-day rule, they're just going home and circling that date in their calendar with like exclamation points beside it. And then confetti drops on the date. And they're like, I guess I'm ass. right? And they still will just leave you after that time passes. Barb, I know I said 90-day rule. I wasn't talking about like physical intimacy. I was talking about like you just know you won't really know who that person is until enough time passes. And the good rule of thumb is 90 days. If his goal is to just sleep with you, the time element doesn't matter. It didn't change the goal. It's not going to do anything. She was like, oh, I never thought about it like that. All right. You should. You should think about it like that. There are guys who will wait in the friend zone for years to tap that ass. And then there are guys who've been in the friend zone for a very long time. And then she's like, all right, I'll go ahead and let him. And then he does. And guess what? Appreciate you, love. Chuck the deuce for years waiting. Right? It came from like Steve Harvey, I think. Don't listen to anyone with a mustache like that. Don't make a lick of sense. Not a lick of sense. That certainly doesn't mean to sleep with somebody quickly. That's not what I'm saying either. I'm just saying when a solution is proposed, I want to know what problem we are solving. And a lot of these proposed solutions do not solve the problem they are intended to solve. So what is needed is a better solution. Discernment is one of the qualities that is lacking, severely lacking in today's dating landscape. It's like people either don't know what to look for or they see it and they want the person so much they just they rationalize it so they don't care. I think our previous caller was in the latter category. Or you just like the person enough, there's so much chemistry that you're like, I just left a bad situation. This is a pleasant distraction. So I'll just distract myself. Shot my shot in the wild coat, swing and a miss, but shoot or shoot. That's right, baby, shoot or shoot. Believe it or not, I've not historically done a lot of cold approach. I've done it. I'm more of like a long game person, like in terms of social circle. That's why men don't really lie long enough. You'll start lying to yourself. That's the thing. A lot of women are like, oh, these men are like master manipulators. They can't both be master manipulators and stupid. Like, women are also like, oh, mine are dumb and simple. It's like, which one is it? Because you can't be simple and be a master manipulator. You got to pick and choose. You got to pick a lane. What really happens is a lot of women have hope. They hope for something to happen. And if the man speaks to that hope, she hopes so much that she'll convince herself. So she's the one gaslighting herself. She's the one manipulating herself. More so than he is. She's the master manipulator here. She's manipulating herself to believe this nonsense. This is why accountability is so important. Not accountability so you can beat yourself up. That's not the purpose of accountability. People like kind of, it's like a hair trigger with that word. Accountability is when you take ownership of it, you can change. If you take ownership, you can. There's a book that was written by a Navy SEAL called Extreme Ownership. And he says this is why the Navy SEALs are so effective. Because when they do a mission and something goes wrong, every person on the team takes responsibility. Now, objectively, that's not true, right? Like, normally someone is more at fault than the other person. Okay? But if you take that on as a mindset, where no matter what happens, you take ownership of it, you take responsibility, you ask the question, if I was responsible for this, in what way was I responsible? Now you can change something. And when you change something, you get a different outcome. When you point the finger, you don't change shit because you let yourself off the hook by pointing the finger. That's why no matter what situation you're in, it is a good practice to just take extreme ownership over the situation. Again, not to beat yourself up, but so you can change your behavior, so you can improve your outcomes. It's a very practical mindset to have. And that's true with everything in life, not just romantic relationships. Everything. Take extreme ownership. And you'll just constantly grow and constantly improve. Right? People don't want to do that though. They have fragile egos. They can't take being wrong about something. So they point a finger outside of themselves. Dating advice tips for men who are 5'4" or 5'5". CJ, you want to come up? CJ is around that height, but he does reasonably well with the opposite sex. Short guys are like, they are on different ends of the spectrum. Their experience manifests in extremes. So you'll have like shorter guys who like don't get nothing. And then you have shorter guys who are like the biggest playboy you've ever seen in your life. So the biggest thing I would tell you is not to be insecure about your height. Easier said than done. What I mean by that is, if it's not a problem to you, you'll be surprised how many women don't find a problem with it. But if you're insecure about it, that's going to seep out of your pores. They're going to pick up on it. And that is what's unattractive. It's not that the height is unattractive. It is the insecurity about the height that is unattractive. Like, this is another mentality that will help you. If it's possible for someone else, it's possible for me. So if there were no short men out there who did well with women, then I would be like, well, I guess short men are cooked. But there are short men who do very well with women. So it's like, why are you not one of them? You know, if he can do it, why can't you do it? Perhaps he knows something that you don't know. Perhaps he's doing something that you aren't doing. Okay, well, let's figure out what that is. And then you do it. I've had clients around that height who absolutely clean up. Absolutely. Got a personal friend who absolutely cleans up. That's what we call the dog mentality. Right. If I see someone else doing something, man, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the same shit. He just proved that it's possible. All you got to do is find some evidence. What was it like? There was someone who broke like 7 or 6 minute mile? Like decades ago, like in the 70s or some shit. I forget the story, the details. But before he did it, before that guy broke like the 6 or 7 minute mile or 5 minute mile or whatever, no one had ever achieved that feat. But after he did it, multiple people started doing it. It's almost as if seeing someone do it with something that they thought before was impossible showed that it was possible. And now other people strive to do it as well. Your brain is very powerful. You have to be very careful about what you believe, because your beliefs will be a glass ceiling on you. If you don't believe you can do it, you'll keep hitting that glass ceiling. If you do believe you can do it, you'll transcend it. So another person accomplishing that feat should remove that glass ceiling for you. Like, I like to tell clients that everything in life is a skill. Everything is a skill. And I like that framing because skills are learnable. So if I think that everything is a skill, that means that everything is learnable. So if somebody has something I don't have, I don't ever come to the conclusion like, you are just lucky or Not everyone can do that, right? I'm like, okay, let me learn the skills this person has. So if we take on that frame, other short men probably have skills that you don't have. Okay, let's identify what those skills are and then learn those skills. Now you can duplicate that result. Even with making money is a skill. It's really an aggregate of multiple skills. Aggregation of multiple skills. So you just learn those skills. That's it. That's it. It's really that simple. These are everything I'm telling you are very like empowering beliefs. So I was talking to Danny about this. There was this guy who owned Quest Nutrition, like Quest bars. When he started his company, he had like a list of like the 10 rules to work there. And rule number 1 was you can do anything you put your mind to. And then rule number 2 is, rule number 1 is a lie, but it is an empowering lie. Here's what he meant by that. A lot of people orient around what is true. This guy doesn't really care what is true. He only cares what is useful. What can he use? And I've adopted that mentality as well. What can you use, right? So it is not true that you can do everything that you want, that you can achieve everything that you want. That's not true. But believing that it is true is very useful, because when you believe that, you'll likely do things that you otherwise wouldn't have done, and you will get results you otherwise wouldn't get. Because the belief controls behavior. If you believe that you can't get women because you're short, you're not going to talk to them. And then not talking to them will guarantee that you don't get any. But if you believe that you can, then you'll talk to a lot. And through the act of talking to a lot, you'll get one. That makes sense? I didn't mean to go on so long of a tangent, but hopefully that landed. No more calls, but if you have a question, you can certainly drop it in the chat. Good shit, Will. Best of luck to you, brother. Definitely comb through the rest of my content. YouTube specifically. YouTube, there's a lot of value on YouTube. I can only do so much on TikTok because you're, short form. YouTube link in the bio. Check out some of those videos. There's things on YouTube that I'm not discussed on TikTok. Looking forward to meet someone who loves genuine love. Okay, best of luck. Best of luck on that. Good shit, Will. Best of luck to you, brother. Yes, if you want coaching, if you're going through a problem, if you're spiraling, if you don't know if you should leave or stay, if you're lacking clarity, if you've been spinning your wheels for years, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're single, you should book a coaching call. In the coaching call, you'll get clarity on your situation. You'll know exactly what happened and why it happened. And you'll also get a step-by-step roadmap, meaning you'll know exactly what to do next in your situation, okay? The way to do that is DM me the word coach, and I will share a link with you where you can book your call. Same thing for people on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to book a call, DM me the word coach. If you're on YouTube, just comment the word coach. We'll figure it out. But yeah. Right. My animals are used to it now. Used to fireworks. Mine aren't. I like YouTube videos can speed them up. You know, CC, that you can speed up TikTok videos too, right? Please tell me you know that, CC. For the love of God, tell me you know that. But the videos are longer. That ain't the point you made, CC. You're backtracking now. Moving the goalposts. What they got to do with you speeding the video up? I want a white man 40 years. Any white men in the chat want this desperate lady? I guess shoot her a DM. If desperate women are your type, shoot her a DM. I was talking to a woman for 9 months. She still wasn't ready, so it depends on whether you want him. Why were you talking to a woman for 9 months, brother, who wasn't ready? Yeesh. Y'all both weren't ready. Yeah, get out of there. Long distance? Okay. I'll give you that. Long distance is fair. That's fair. Still kind of long, bro. Still kind of long, but long distance does kind of extend things a little bit. A little bit. All right, people. Well, I'm going to hop off because we got a little mod powwow we got to head to. If you're new here, make sure to follow. I go live daily, 12 p.m. Eastern Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I do not go live on Sundays, so I won't see you tomorrow. But again, if you want coaching, DM me the word coach. I'll reach out and let you know next steps. What else? Also, the Dallas trip. I'm going to Dallas August 14th through the 17th. So, if you're trying to slide, DM me, let me know you coming through. You won't be able to go to the Airbnb or stay in the Airbnb, but you can certainly get your own lodging and link up with us. Should be a great time. All right. That being said, appreciate the mods, appreciate the chat. I will see you all Monday. Y'all take care.